Thank you, Carl, for coming to see me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, have you ever been in therapy before?
No.
Okay, I'm going to explain just a little bit about cognitive behavioral therapy to you. So, this is a very common therapeutic practice. This specifically looks at thought patterns and how your thought patterns affect your mood and your actions and your everyday life, basically.
Okay.
So CBT is really easy to remember because it's all about the ABCs.
Okay.
So A stands for antecedent, and that is what happens before B, which is a behavior. But that can be a thought behavior or an actual action.
Okay.
And then C stands for consequence.
Okay.
And so to give you a real life example that you'll care about from your own life, tell me a little bit about what's happened last week with you.
Well, I've been trying to clean my house and my garage and stuff, and I seem like I'm just having trouble keeping things neat and orderly.
Okay. So trouble with like disorganization.
Yeah, it just seems like I got clutter every place.
Has this been a change from, has this been a recent change based on any changes in your life?
Well, it seems like I was more neat and orderly person in the past. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if I just got lazy or what, but things just seem to be more cluttered and more messy than before.
Okay. Could this possibly be related to your mood? How much energy do you feel like you've been having?
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe I just haven't had the energy to, keep things neat and clean like, in times gone by.
Okay. Well, I know that when we had first started meeting with each other and we had goals for the first few sessions together, you mentioned that you had low energy and low mood, which are often signs of depression. And so that could possibly be what's going on here. But let me ask you this. When you are in your house, that you're seeing clutter everywhere, you're bringing it up because I'm assuming it's bothering you in some way.
Yeah.
What emotions are you experiencing?
Well, I just think, well, maybe I'll clean it tomorrow.
Okay.
Or something instead of just getting up and doing it right now.
So it's a lack of motivation to like have actual change right then and there.
Yeah.
To muster the energy to do those physical things.
Right.
Okay. So you see the clutter and then you think, well, I'll just get to it tomorrow. So that's your behavior, your thought pattern at that point. So then what happens the remainder of the day?
Well, I just go on about doing my day, and then the clutter's still there.
I see. So then do you have the same thought pattern the next day when you wake up and you're surrounded by the clutter?
Well, yeah, it's still cluttered, but I just think I want to do something else besides clean house. Cleaning house is not really what I think of as fun.
Sure, absolutely. I can understand that. So when you're looking at the clutter and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to put this off until tomorrow because I don't want to tackle this right now, do you find that it's overwhelming?
No, I think it's just something that I know I need to do it. I need to take time to do it. I'm really not that busy to where I can't do it. It's just that it's just not a fun activity that I want to do.
There are other activities that you would prefer.
Oh, yeah, I'd rather go out and just do something else outside or something and stay in the house, clean house.
Sure, absolutely. How often do you think about the clutter?
Oh, probably like in the morning, maybe while I'm, after I eat breakfast, I just look at the clutter and I think I ought to clean that up. And then instead I go just start doing something else.
Okay. So once a day, maybe?
Well, then probably, in the evening again when before I go to bed, I look around and think, tomorrow I need to clean this clutter up. But it seems like it never gets done.
Okay.
It seems like it keeps getting worse. There's more clutter every day. Just dust and cobwebs and things that need to be cleaned up. But seems like I just don't do it like I should.
Okay. That's a really interesting thought. So it seems like I just don't do it like I should. So, do you have a sense that it's your duty or your responsibility?
Well, yes. I mean, it's my responsibility to keep my house clean.
Okay. And when it doesn't happen day after day, how does that affect how you feel about yourself and your depression?
Well, I don't feel like I'm such a great person because my house is dirty.
Okay. So that's an interesting step. So we've gone from I have a lack of motivation to do something that I don't really want to enjoy doing. Tell me if I'm incorrect. Don't really want to clean my house. I don't really enjoy this in the first place. But now it's snowballing. And it's switched into I must not be a good person because I have a dirty house.
Oh, I think I would feel better about myself if my house was clean.
Okay. So it's related to your own self-esteem and your own sense of how you feel.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's interesting. So, one of the interesting aspects about CBT is that it can look at specific thoughts that you have and it can examine whether those thoughts are logical, illogical, and how they contribute to your mood. So, if you are thinking, hey, what do I do about my situation with clutter and the problems that I'm having? And then it switches over to, you can get that phone call if you need to. It switches over to, I'm not a good person, or I don't feel as good about myself as I wish I would because of the clutter. Then that's called an overgeneralization or a snowball effect, because essentially you're taking one aspect of your life, which in this case would be the cleanliness of your house, and generalizing it to how you feel about yourself as a person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So one thing that we can do is we can work on that thought, and we can try to think with our thoughts, am I taking something that started off very concrete and relatively minor, I don't know if minor is the right word, but like in the sense of one aspect of the many things that you do in life, and then switching it into a larger picture of something that's encompassing a bigger part of your life and worrying you and contributing to a depressed mood, we can think about those thoughts and think, well, is that accurate? Is that what someone else would think? Like, one thing that a lot of times helps with people is take yourself out of the equation. If you were helping a friend who was worried about a cluttered house, would you be as critical with your friend as you are on yourself?
Yeah, I think if I went to a friend's house and it was all dirty and cluttered and cobwebs all over, I would think, this person doesn't have their act together.
Okay. So you are treating yourself the same way you would treat a friend in a similar situation.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. What about breaking this obstacle of the clutter in your house into smaller sections that you feel like you can gain control over?
Maybe if I clean just a little bit every day. I schedule my time right after early morning, right from 9 to 10 every day. I spend an hour cleaning my house.
That's a great thought. I love that. Do you feel that instead of after drinking your coffee when you normally look around and think, oh my goodness, look at all this clutter, do you think you could think, okay, today I'm going to tackle a little bit of the clutter for 1 hour?
Yeah.
That's realistic for you?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, let's do that then. Let's see if that works for you. Do you think you can start that immediately tomorrow?
I'll start that tomorrow morning.
And then when we meet back next Wednesday at 10 o'clock, please report back to me how you feel like it's feeling. And please remember when we were talking about the ABCs of the behavior, and then the antecedent, and then the behavior, which in this case is the thought of the clutter, and then the consequence. Please keep track of how you feel like that is changing, or what you're noticing about that during the week.
What would be the antecedent of that?
The antecedent of that is looking around and feeling that you have an issue with clutter.
Okay, and the behavior would be working an hour cleaning it up.
Correct.
And the consequence would be my house is cleaner.
And how you feel about it.
And now I would feel better with the clean house.
Correct. You got it. So keep either a mental note or a written note of how you feel that is going for the week, and then we'll.
So I'll start out with like a room, like the living room. I'll clean it for an hour. Mm-hmm. And then I'll say how, because then if somebody comes over, the first room they see will be the living room.
Exactly.
So then I'll feel better about myself if somebody comes over and my living room's clean.
That's a perfect example.
Okay.
And we can specifically highlight how your living room is next week.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Bye.